Recording.
Good. Last time. All right.
Hooray!
Although I was thinking maybe I'll do one tomorrow. I don't know.
In that case,
I fucking.
stop. Just stop.
Oh man.
Stop fucking talking into microphones. God damn it.
I forgot how to do anything else. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fourth and final instalment of the E3 specials for 2015, breaking down E3 press conferences. This is the third-party special because this time around, we've had four third-party conferences.
Yes.
Anyway, I am your host, Kris Lipscomb. This is the Sixth Axis podcast. Joining me today is the editor-in-chief of the sixthaxis.com, Teflon. Say hello, Tef.
You alright? How's it going?
Yeah. I'm alright. I'm broken now. I don't have to do podcasts anymore. And also with me is Aran Study, who is one of the fine news editors at the Sixth Axis. Say hello, Aran.
Hi.
Aran is actively writing news while we podcast. That is how much of a news hound he is. He just can't let it lie. It's gotta be in there.
It's sitting there, so I have to do it.
Can't let sleeping news lie.
A little bit woe, a little bit way, getting in there with the news, down dirty. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Jeez, this happened with Nintendo a few years ago. Peter and I just broke. So we're going to run things down in order. This is not everything, but it's probably all the main points. We think all the big stuff.
All of the things that we can remember without really looking.
Yeah, is just what happened. There was stuff. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of picking the highlights, because if they didn't stick in your memory, then they messed it up, didn't they?
Fuck it. So, let's start with Bethesda, which was on a ridiculous o'clock. I haven't even watched that conference because it was. I refused to watch because it was on at we're going to the first one. It's going to be at 7 p.m. in Los Angeles, which was just weird for a start.
Yeah. So
right.
that's 3 a.m. in the UK.
And I was like, nope, I'm good. I'm fine. I will be asleep because I have to do proper E3 tomorrow. The big point, they did, I mean, for a tiny conference, they had big hitters, and for their first year, they come out with Doom was there. Did it look good? Anyone?
It looked really good.
I did see that trailer actually because I thought it was like a Halo trailer because he's putting on the helmet at the beginning. I think it was Doom. Anyway.
Yeah.
Did he put a trailer on?
He does do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I thought it was Halo, and I was like, because it looks a lot like the Halo helmet.
Yeah, there was a nice bit where, because with Halo 5, one of the things that I noticed was that you can sort of see the edges of the helmet.
Yeah, you really can. It's interesting.
Yeah, which is, I think that's not how it was originally, and I don't know if that's in 4 or 3 or something that they changed it.
I don't think it's in 4.
Mm.
I'm definitely not. As someone who loves Halo, I'm sure it's not been that visible if it has been in the past.
Yeah. But I mean, I liked how that it gave you that sense that you've got this helmet on, and there's probably a different styling depending on which of the characters you're playing as.
Yeah, but also, the thing I found with Doom versus Halo though was I thought the HUD in Doom looked a lot more like a HUD. Like it looked like it was a real heads-up display on a helmet.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Like, as soon as he puts the helmet on, it then sort of does like a calibration scan.
Yeah.
And then wipes out all of the bits of the helmet. So it's sort of like there's cameras on the helmet, though you can see out of the visor, and then it's still beaming extra information into your eyes so that you don't have the helmet in view. Which kind of felt oddly more futuristic than wearing a helmet.
But I just thought the general, they've got I think it's just things like there's a slight curve on bits of elements in the heads-up display and stuff like that, which just makes it feel like it really is cool. That is a real thing. It was nice. I think, as you say, it's the fact you visibly see him putting it on, and then he just goes and shotguns a bunch of monsters in the face
at ludicrously high speed.
Yep, it looked a lot like a Doom game.
It is insanely fast.
It looked like super bloody, really fast. shotgun all over the place, and then I stopped watching at that point. I presume there was probably more trailer after that.
Yeah, there was actually quite a bit with Doom. So there was this trailer. It went on for about 5 minutes, or 7 or so minutes, maybe
7 or so, I think it was.
Yeah, and it's sort of like he picks up like a plasma gun, a chainsaw, for which the crowd obviously goes woo, because there's a chainsaw, and that's Doom.
Oh, yeah. Why? Why wouldn't you woo? Woo.
Exactly. And yeah, I think Matt was saying that this was effectively the video that he saw at QuakeCon last year.
Yeah, and he said it was almost exactly the same demo.
Right.
That was there.
And maybe even the exact same intro speech as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's just the same demo, but probably they've upped the graphics.
Maybe
probably added to
it. They could have just even used the exact same tape from back then.
Yeah, they might. But I would think for them it's not going to be a massive amount of effort to like re-render it in the latest version of the engine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's all going to have been rendered on the tip-toppiest of PCs.
Oh,
in the first place.
100%. Yeah.
But they did go beyond that. I think that first block of Doom was what they showed at QuakeCon, and then they moved on to multiplayer, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh man!
So they talked a little bit about that. Then they moved on to the extensive modding tools which are built into the game, which is sort of like, well, it's about as simplistic as you can possibly imagine. It's sort of like you can start off with just sketching out a floor plan, then you can go into this and you can start placing individual objects or like whatever, and it's like incredibly flexible, and it's designed to be very, very easy to get to grips with.
Yeah, that is very cool actually.
Yeah. And it's got a specific name, and I can't remember what it is. Doom Playscape, I'm going to call it, but it's probably not called that.
I don't know. I think it's called that. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah,
yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds like that. That sounds like that's a name, right?
Yeah,
done,
exactly.
Sorted.
That's what we're going with.
But and then they did go back to single player, and they just dropped you into hell so that he was fighting big demons with the BFG and stuff like this.
Okay.
I think the Fade to Black was when he's charging up the BFG.
Yeah, that's cool.
At the end,
they also had the announcement of Dishonored 2,
yes.
Which that was just a CGI trailer, right?
It was a CGI trailer, but it was quite a surprise as well in the direction they were going.
Yeah, because you play as the woman from the first, like the woman you save in the first game.
It's the little girl.
So
the little girl.
The little girl you save in the first game.
So the Empress, basically, she becomes the Empress. Yeah. But you do have the choice of playing as her or Corvo.
Oh, okay.
So
because the trailer was all around her, though, right?
Yeah, it's all around her, but I think it's set probably about 10 years after the events of Dishonored 1, where you've lost the Empire or something.
As the Daily Mail would put it, she is now all grown up.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly like what the Daily Mail would say.
It looked really. It kind of looked awesome though, even though it's CGI. It did look super Dishonored. Like you've got the time stopping stuff. You've got like she turns into a weird smoke monster for a bit.
She's got completely different powers to Corvo.
Well, you had time stopping in the first one, right?
Well, okay, she's got a completely different basis to her powers and visual
additional
style.
Powers.
Yeah,
additional powers on top of what Corvo had.
But it just looked kind of awesome, and she looked super badass as well.
She did. I'm looking forward to that.
She did. It just looked like nothing was phasing her, which was kind of awesome.
Yeah, I guess she's been doing it for years. Corvo's trained her how to survive.
Well, she gets into like a sword fight with a 4-armed robot, right? That was pretty cool.
That was part of it. Yeah.
General Grievous.
General Grievous turns up. It's a Star Wars crossover.
But it just looked really cool.
Yeah, because she gets the powers from the same being that gave Corvo his powers.
Oh, right.
But this guy hasn't been explained. I'm guessing he's a god of some kind. He just turns up and gives people powers. So here you go, do this.
It was just a prankster. It's just like, hey, give this person powers.
See what happens.
Pretty much. There you go, let's see what you can do with these.
That is kind of the theme of the game. It's sort of like you get powers and then like you mess around and you see what happens, and then either chaos or good happens. So or order, I think it is.
But I did think this actually did look really awesome. Even though we didn't see any gameplay, it just looked really cool. And also, Vicky, who was on the podcast a few weeks ago, is going to be super excited because she said she was going to fight someone if Dishonored 2 wasn't at E3. So,
well, someone's safe then.
Yeah, exactly.
It was quite a brief showing,
yeah,
so
but
it might have been that they listened to
they were
the
like,
podcast
oh,
and they were
shit.
like, oh god. Yeah.
Right, she's Welsh, she'll fuck us up.
What I quite enjoyed about this reveal was that this was leaked when they accidentally went onto Twitch.
Yeah, oh yes, that was brilliant.
They were talking about their plans, weren't they?
Yeah, they were talking about the plans, and they were sort of doing a little bit of rehearsal surrounding. I can't remember his name, but the guy coming on starting to speak in very, very fast French, and then I think he's maybe Canadian or American. He's the one that's sort of gone over from Bethesda to work with Arcane Studios.
Oh, okay.
As a producer, I think that's what he is. And then he goes, whoa, slow down. This is an English-speaking conference. It's like, oh, okay. And you sort of heard that bit being rehearsed in the leaked accidental Twitch stream, and then it's exactly how it happened. It's just like, oh well. And then they brought
Fallout 4.
Yeah,
that's the big hitter, right? Like
that was the big hitter.
Yes.
I mean, Dishonored 2 and Doom are big on their own. I mean, obviously we knew Doom was coming already. And we didn't know Fallout 4 was coming because it was announced slightly before E3. But even so, that it's still like that's a huge deal.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time on Fallout 4, and I can't wait because obviously from the initial review, you're thinking more Fallout. They've added so much, like building your own settlements, pretty much. So,
oh god, yeah, no, there's just a ludicrous amount of stuff.
So, and contextual dog commands, can't forget those.
Oh yeah, contextual dog. And also, although it wasn't at the conference, they have now announced that dog meat can't die, which I'm disappointed by. I want peril.
What? You want to kill dog meat?
I don't want to kill dog meat. I just want the peril.
No, that's what it sounds like, Chris.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Fuck dog meat. No, it's just.
He wants dog meat to become dog meat.
Exactly. I want to
live up to his name.
I want to feed dog meat to other dogs.
What?
That's how you get stronger.
Are you a cannibal, Chris? Is this what you're trying to tell us?
No, fine. Come on. So this was like a big gameplay trailer, right?
Yes.
It was such a weird showing. They basically had Todd Howard on stage, and he just rambled through lots of stuff. So at first it was just like setting the scene a little bit. So it's 200 years into the future. You start off playing in the 1940s or whatever it is, 40s or 50s, just before the bomb drops. And then you somehow, not explaining how yet, you end up 200 years in the future, whereas the previous Fallout games have been closer to that 1940s date. So you come out as blue skies, that kind of thing. You bump into, you're the same person. So this is what they're obviously going to have to explain, how they do a Futurama. You're the same person, you bump into your old robot, and then you kind of go from there. And you
I did see the bumping into your robot. That looked really sweet, actually.
Yeah, it was kind of like, you're late for dinner, master. And it's just like, what is for dinner?
it was really sweet because he was really excited to see you, though. It was kind of cute. I like that.
He was so happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he sort of went through all of this, and then he sort of took a left turn into the collector's edition, which has got the
it's got an actual Pip-Boy.
Yeah, Pip-Boy, which you put on your arm, and then you slot your phone into it, and then you've got touchscreen interface for which actually interacts with your console, and it's not console specific. It's just done over Wi-Fi, which is very clever.
I was so confused, but are you actually, because it doesn't look like you're using your phone. It looks like your phone is powering it.
No, you basically there's a hole, there's a slot for your phone to fit into.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you download the app.
Okay, that's fine. It's just because the screen on it looks bigger than a phone screen, which is what I was confused by.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're using a 6 Plus, which is not a phone.
Maybe.
It's a fucking TV.
It's just because it maybe I'm completely wrong. It's just, to me, when I saw the picture of it, it looks like it's square rather than kind of...
Yeah, no, it is square. It cuts off part of the screen on your phone.
Okay.
So that it looks like a Pip-Boy, because they don't need the whole screen.
All right, that's fine. That's all I was slightly confused by, is that it looked like it was, like, not phone-sized.
Yeah. it's a different aspect ratio.
I'll be honest, it looks fucking huge and really uncomfortable to play the game while wearing.
Yeah.
So and also given that you can just manage it with the phone app anyway, probably just do that. Probably. Like, I don't think people are really going to wear it on their wrist while playing because it just looks like it would be awkward. Oh, you're such a nerd. Just
Alright, okay, so that's that settled. Aaron is going to review the game and he has to live stream the entire thing.
Yeah, with it on his wrist
with
the whole
the
time.
on his wrist.
Yeah, we want full like.
I will do it.
We want you on camera and like picture in picture, proper thing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
We also need to have a training montage so that you like see you like beefing up your left arm muscles.
Should
so
I buy
that you can
a 111 costume as well?
Yeah.
Oh, go for it. If you're gonna do it, you might as well go all the way. You need to train a German Shepherd to sit with you the whole time.
I could do that quite easily.
Give them contextual commands, like get me a drink.
Anyway, what else was there in there?
Yeah, so after that, then there was like this weird, like further left turn to Fallout Shelter.
Oh, yes, this is the iOS like like management. It's like the Sims, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, no. It's kind of like it's a mixture of so many things, and like on stage it's just like we've been playing all of these games, we love them all, and we just thought we'd make our own version of everything mashed together. So it's kind of the XCOM view, the reboot of XCOM, where you've got the side view of the base. Yeah, and you are managing your vault, and you're sort of building it down into the ground, and you are forcing people to have babies, basically by putting them into a room, and then they make babies happen, because that's how the babies happen in real life as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Lots of smiles appearing from behind a wall. And like you send people out into the wilderness, you've got it's just a kind of crazy management sim, and like little disasters happen, like raiders come, they smash their way through the vault door and stuff like that. But it's cool, it's really good fun. It's very slow paced though, because it's free to play, and even though there's no like paywalls, like you can just wait, and there's no way to skip the waiting times. It has, I think it's been reported that it is now the biggest grossing game on the iTunes
I think it's
store
number
at the moment.
2, but
number 2, maybe behind.
It's at the top of the charts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so annoyed it's not on Android. So annoyed.
Well, okay, so I was talking to a couple of people earlier about it, and I was just like, talking about how basically I've got a radio room to try and get outsiders to come to my vault and like join my weird cult. My vault is 666 because I decided why not. And what's funny about this is that to be on the radio, you have to have good charisma, but also in order to have a good match with someone else and get pregnant, you have to have good charisma from one side. So I've got lots of these charismatic women locked into a radio room, and they're all pregnant. And like you zoom in, and it sort of says like they've all got like. Occasionally they've got little messages above their heads, and I think one of them is like, we really wish that you could come and join us. And it's sort of like, what? This is just like the weirdest thing you could think of.
Yeah, it does seem super weird.
It's like a snoo episode of Futurama. Again, Futurama.
Yeah. It's just fucking, that game looks kind of cool, but also weird. Super weird. Right, well, that's probably enough. Bethesda, they had like an Elder Scrolls card game that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, they also said they then went back to main Fallout 4, and they said firstly that it's out this year on the 11th of October.
Oh yeah, which is nuts.
Was
it October?
Or it was either 11th of October, which I think it was because they write dates funny in America, or it was 10th of November.
Something like that.
It's out at the end of the year, basically.
Yeah. It's 10th of November. Okay.
10th of November.
Which is crazy for them just to be like, by the way, done.
Yeah, no, that was a really good reveal.
I like that approach. I wish more publishers did that.
Yeah, it's good, but it's also just feels a bit weird for them to be like, by the way, Fallout 4's the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. We basically finished it already.
Yeah. They also said mod support on Xbox One.
Oh yeah, that was at the Xbox.
It's coming
conference.
to PS4 as well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know when.
Oh, okay. Because I hadn't heard that before, so that is interesting.
Yeah.
EA. Mass Effect Andromeda started the show with like a 2-minute CGI trailer and then they said the phrase, "It's a new Mass Effect game from the storytellers at BioWare," and I wanted to punch him in the face. Because no, they don't call them storytellers. That sounds terrible. This show was hosted by Andrew Wilson, who is the most punchable man in video games.
Don't let him hear you say that, Chris.
Oh no, I could take Andrew Wilson in a fight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would pay to see this fight.
Not Peter Moore. Peter Moore would fucking kill me. But I wouldn't even have to fight. It would be like I'd be arriving to fight Peter Moore, and he'd just jump on me and like stab me in the eyes. Guy's nuts. Look at him. Have you like Peter Moore is just a ball of barely contained rage. He's brilliant. I love him to bits. He was on Jeff Keighley's thing, and Jeff Keighley kept teasing him, and Peter Moore was just giving him fucking death stares. It's amazing. Mass Effect Andromeda, which it's got the Mako in. That's about all we know.
Yeah, and it's in a new galaxy.
Yeah, the Andromeda galaxy. Yes, which I can't wait for.
It probably doesn't star Shepard, I guess.
And there's a Wild West world by the looks of things.
Yeah, but we just like they had a helmet on the whole time.
Yeah.
Because maybe they're like, this is way easier than doing facial stuff. They're just in a helmet all the time. It's much easier than facial customization. Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Mm-hmm. It's open world.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy for them to announce that. Mm-hmm. That was ridiculous. I was really not expecting that because that is really hard to do.
Yes.
Like, to do Mirror's Edge's free, like, because it's not like free running in other games. To do free running with the depth and the complexity of Mirror's Edge's free running system in an open world, it must be like an incredible technical challenge.
Well, not a technical challenge. I think more of a world design challenge because the big point about Mirror's Edge when you went with the original game was that you could basically just do the entire levels without stopping. You could keep your speed at height.
I guess that's it. It's getting it so you can like have paths of flow throughout the whole world.
Yeah. They did show that there was still the kind of like object highlights. It's still a very stark white world because it's.
But I'm fine with that because that's like that's what the game is.
Yeah. But then like objects which are good paths for you to take, like pipes and stuff, they will highlight red so that you think, oh, okay, so this is one route for me to go from one place to another.
Runner's vision, that's what it's called.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And then also like time trials, challenges, things to collect.
It's a prequel / reboot, right?
Yeah, I think more reboot than prequel.
Yeah.
Because as we were saying beforehand, before the show, like the original Mirror's Edge, it stopped in a pretty obvious place for it to stop.
Yeah.
And there's sort of there seems to be a much more import placed on Faith's character in this world, whereas before she was in the original game, she was more of literally just an outcast from society. Like she didn't really have any ties to society in any way.
No, yeah.
And also it seems to be a lot more focus on the society as well. Like a lot of focus on kind of the fascism sort of elements of it, which is quite interesting. It looked really good. It looked like, I mean, it didn't just look like another Mirror's Edge game. It looked actually it looked different and interesting. And like it should be a fun game to play.
It looked like what people would have imagined the first Mirror's Edge could have been if DICE had and the PS3 and everything were capable of doing this in the first place. Yeah. Like and
also
very good.
I think the other thing they confirmed is it's not the you don't have like the comic book storytelling this time.
No, it's all in engine.
It's all in engine, so that's nice.
And it's out at the start of next year.
Yeah. Oh, there's a guy in it who looked a bit like Morgan Freeman.
A little bit. I think he almost sounded a little bit like Morgan Freeman.
It's because he's got it's because he had a slight Morgan Freeman kind of tinge to his voice.
Maybe it is Morgan Freeman.
It's definitely not Morgan Freeman, but he kind of had this. He had a very slight kind of more. It sounded like they'd gone, can you do like Morgan Freeman, but not exactly Morgan Freeman to the
Maybe
voice
they
actor?
got Morgan Freeman and said that to him.
Yeah. Can you do your own voice, but slightly different? Right. Star Wars. There was like 3 Star Wars games. There's an update to the Old Republic, which it's free, right?
Free for subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that game has gone free to play quite a while back anyway.
Yeah. Then there was a Star Wars card game or something.
Legends? No, not Legends. Something like that, I don't know.
But that's like
something
a card
for mobile.
But that's like a card game type thing, right? Because everyone has to have a card game now. Because turns out Hearthstone made a load of money, so they were like, "Oh shit, we need to be doing this."
Yeah. Oh, there's an Elder Scrolls card game.
Oh, I said
which
that.
was announced
I think I said that briefly. Yeah, it's just.
But it's not as good as Gwent from Witcher 3, though.
Probably not.
No, that's basically your stock reply to anything, though, Aaron. At the moment, it's just
it really is.
And then
you just don't understand how good that game is.
Hey, Aaron, do you want to go see a film today? No, I bet it's not as good as Gwent from The Witcher 3.
I'm not gonna lie. Before we were recording this, I was playing Gwent.
No, I was playing Fallout Shelter.
But what if there's not a card game in Fallout 4? Is that gonna Are you going to be disappointed?
That drops it from a 10 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10 instantly.
Oh,
I just want to play. I just want the dog to be super intelligent. You can play poker with him.
And then the fight.
And he gets the little hat with the green cap thing on the front. The dealer.
The dealer's cap.
Oh,
yeah, dealer's visor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and
there'll be a mod for that.
And it will be. And the other big thing was
Pele.
No, was Star Wars thing was Battlefront.
Yes,
it looks so amazing.
Which looks incredible. Because they showed this at Sony as well later on, but this does look genuinely incredible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've done so much to make the camera angles just seem incredibly cinematic.
Yeah, I can't remember what the word is, but they've really...
It's called photometry or something, where they've gone
Photometric, yeah.
Yeah, they've gone and mapped the real sets and stuff in with big specialized camera rigs to make it look to make the game look as real as possible.
Yeah.
But so the scenery all looks incredible because of that. But I think there's something about where they're placing the in-world camera as well and the effects they're using that are just making it look really cinematic the whole time as well.
No, they've got special filters and post-processing going on, definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think that's a big part of why it's not 64 players multiplayer. It's limited to 20 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not 20, 40, I mean. Things like that, because...
but
it just wouldn't be able to handle it, to be honest.
They also confirmed shit like you can be like Luke Skywalker and then you get in a lightsaber battle with Darth Vader.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker in his Return of the Jedi get-up.
But on Hoth.
At Hoth, yeah.
That's weird. But still, that was kind of awesome. And also the fact that you're seeing a soldier fighting and he just starts getting fucking force choked.
Yeah.
And lifted off the ground. It was awesome.
So awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that was actually a really, really and then they showed it again at Sony with it was like a co-op bit or something.
Yeah, the missions.
Yeah, and that was not on. Well, it looked like it was Tatooine, but it probably wasn't actually Tatooine. But it just looked like all deserty and stuff, and that looked cool as well. It's the mix. It's kind of the Battlefield style gameplay where you've got the vehicles mixed in with guys on foot, and it just looks awesome. It does generally look fucking incredible. Although I was saying in Slack that why would you not be on the Empire's side? The Empire clearly has the best toys.
Yeah.
And I did moan. I was like, if you've got a Star Destroyer in the sky, why are you just not nuking this place from orbit? And at one point, the Star Destroyer does actually just launch like an orbital strike and take out a huge chunk of the battlefield. That was kind of amazing. Right. Need for Speed.
Mm-hmm. This looked very good, actually.
Actually, it did. It's I mocked it previously for being a reboot, but it actually is because they've taken because it's like 5 separate stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Speed,
Build,
I've got it here somewhere. Wait, I've got my EEA conference list still up. Speed, Style, Build, Crew, and Outlaw. and they're all
They all sound like characters from Lego Movie.
but they obviously are all like clearly taking like each of those stories, and they're overlapping stories.
Yeah.
But each of those stories is clearly taking elements from a previous Need for Speed game.
Yeah, so
which is really cool.
Underground, and there you got Carbon.
Yeah.
It looked like they were referencing Need for Speed from 2005.
Yeah.
Most Wanted.
And then there was the whole thing as well that each of those stories has like a real world person who is really big in the car, like in the underground car scene. And they're tied into each of those stories, and that was pretty cool as well.
Yeah. And then there was the full motion video cutscenes.
Yeah, full motion video where it then switches to the cutscene, and it looked just perfect.
Yeah, the full motion video is just going to be as cheesy and horrific as
it was
Red Alert 2.
Yes,
but
it's the way it then switches into your then like
then it transitioned to the in-game engine absolutely perfectly.
And you couldn't see the transition at all.
No,
not at all.
I'm actually excited for a Need for Speed game again.
Yeah, and the depth of customization looked absolutely fucking ridiculous.
There were like 40 odd points.
I know,
on the car, and I think that some of that must just be because like you can pick either of the front wheels, and it's going to change both the front wheels to look like something. Or something
probably.
Like that.
But even so,
like it was just going around and kept getting sticky attached to each and every single little point.
It's just if anything, it looked kind of slightly overwhelming.
Yeah,
it's just this will be really hard. I like it when there's a menu. Please give me a menu back. And then we went and saw a bit of street racing. It looks like amazing. There's really good weather effects in play. The lighting engine looks absolutely incredible. It just looks really, really, really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also we saw a bit of cops and robbers stuff as well. We kind of saw a little bit of everything actually, because we saw a bit of drifting, a bit of like high speed stuff, bit of cops and robbers.
Yeah, I think they only really showed one event and then escaping the cops afterwards. But that event was a drift event, so it showed you the player snaking down a straight road, and it's sort of like Mario Kart on the DS. I remember snaking in that game so much.
I think what was nice is that demo gave you like a little element from each of the 5 things they've talked about, which is smart.
Yeah, because he went in with a very heavily customized car, which was obviously designed to look like a drifting car.
Yeah.
Then at one point the cops like cottoned onto it and they started coming after him.
And
then once the thing was done, it was escape the cops.
Yeah. It all looked the escape the cops stuff actually looked really good. The cops look really, really smart this time.
Yeah.
Because they try to box you in and stuff.
Well, that happened in like older Need for Speed games. They've done it in all of Need for Speed, but it's been predictable in a sense. In this, it looked kind of they're a bit more aggressive, and you can't really tell what they're doing.
But it's not just like, because from my experience in previous Need for Speed games, they'll try and box you in, but it's like the cops chasing you, whereas here you're seeing cops like coming in from side streets and stuff. And that did actually look much tougher. It made it look like it's actually potentially going to be a real challenge to avoid everyone. But this was, although I have mocked it in the past, this definitely was the best Need for Speed game I think it's probably the best Need for Speed game we've ever seen. Which, although you would expect it to be, is not necessarily the truth in all Need for Speed titles. But this generally did look like a really good fresh start for the franchise, and I was really impressed. Unravel is a super cute. Slightly a little big planety, slightly Yoshi's. Is it called Yoshi's Woolly World? Is that what it's called?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Drawing on those kind of elements, the physics in it look incredibly Little Big Planet. But you play as this little doll who's made of wool, and the really cute thing about it was it's like an indie game, and the guy who made it, which about how he was on holiday and thinking about it, and he made a little doll out of wool, and he brought it on stage for him.
Mm-hmm. And his hands were shaking so much because
he was
so nervous.
But I love that. I was like, that is a guy I want to interview just because I want to make friends with him. Like, I want to just hang out with that guy. He seemed really awesome.
Because he's been pretty much taken from his little studio.
Yeah.
And put on his huge stage.
And he just genuinely, like, he loved the game as well. Like, you could tell he was so passionate about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's kind of like, I think the gameplay is very Little Big Planet. If you take out like the creation elements, obviously, but it's kind of like physics puzzly 2D platformer stuff. But yeah, it just looked great and super cute and really happy and awesome. And I really want to play that game.
Yeah,
I don't think I need to say anything more about that. Just it looked like, if you haven't seen it, go find the trailer for it, because it just looks like fun. Like a lot of these games were like, oh, that looks cool and kind of awesome. This just generally looks like pure fun, and which is not enough games are that. It's just, this looked really nice. It would make you happy to watch. And then the other thing we should probably touch on, Pele.
Oh my god. Oh, it became an episode of This Is Your Life.
It was so fucking weird. So, for FIFA, without them being like, hey, it's FIFA time, they're just like, here's fucking Pele. They're like, oh, okay, here's Pele? Alright. And then
no, it was just one guy who was incredibly excited about being able to talk to Pele. That's literally all that it was.
And it clearly was not. That was just because the guy wanted to meet Pele.
Yeah,
and that is literally the only reason why he's gone into video games.
To be honest, I can't blame him. If someone was like, "Well, you've got the opportunity to meet Pele," it's like, "Sweet, I'm going to talk to him for 10 minutes in a worldwide broadcast press conference."
And then Pele's just mumbling away, so you couldn't really understand what he was saying.
But then Pele told the story of how he invented the phrase "the beautiful game."
Yeah.
Which is like, this is okay, this is weird, but alright, maybe don't be slacking off American football at an American show.
Oh yeah, that was good.
But,
and meanwhile, while he was chatting, EA released the FIFA trailer online.
Yeah, they're like, oh shit, he won't shut up. Here's fucking FIFA.
Here's the trailer, and we got the news up before the post up, before they even put it on stage. It's like, here it is.
Yeah, but it looks, FIFA is FIFA.
Yeah, it's
got ladies this time. There you go.
But
yeah, I do like that they're adding women's football into the game.
I mean,
that's
to
a
be
really
honest,
good move.
It's about time.
I mock it. They've actually added like a bunch of stuff, but they always do. I can't tell you all the things they added. The same with like Madden and the NBA game and stuff. Like, here's a bunch of new stuff. The NHL game as well was there.
I loved how they were like talking about the NBA game, saying, "Oh, we've done all this." I was just like sitting watching it, saying, "NBA 2K's done this already." It's done it for 5 years.
I was watching that being like, "You realize NBA 2K is still better than you, right?"
Yeah. It's like, oh, we've made the shot thingy more accurate. It's like 2K's done exactly that same system for the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, the thing is, with the system they describing as well, but I was like watching it being like, but this seems like the most basic implementation of a basketball mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, you hold it longer, and therefore you like hold the shot for longer. That's how basketball works. Like, that's just that seems to me like that's the only way I can imagine to build a skill-based basketball game. So I don't know why it's taken them so long.
And then who was that guy? Hoop Dog?
Hoop
my god.
Oh,
Hoop God.
The Hoop God.
The hell? And taking
like
scanning his
PR
face
guy.
in, and
I was so hoping that was going to go wrong. I was just so hoping it would glitch out.
It didn't though. It worked well.
It
did fine.
It was. I mean, to be fair, yeah, it's the best version of the scanning thing they've done.
Yeah.
And the fact that it actually works on your smartphone is good. But there's nothing else to say about that. It was like scanny thing. Madden's got like a new kind of draft mode, which looked kind of cool. But
yeah, where you've got the player drafts where you pick from college students, except they're real players or something, and they're all in teams already and stuff. It's
kind of like a mixture of career mode and FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it would be what happened if there was to be an expansion draft in the NFL. Then they would do that. You'd be able to pick from current teams. But yeah, I know about American football a little bit. But then I just let you write the post because I was angry that the guy didn't pick Gronk. So he didn't pick JJ Watt. That was it. I was angry because they were like, here's Gronk. Not really. It's just the Patriots team. I was like, why are you not bring Gronk on stage, you fuckers? I got angry.
There are literally 2 people listening to this who know what you're on about. Know what you're angry about.
Well, yeah, but then the guy was like, I'm not going to draft JJ Watt. It's like, you twat. He didn't draft JJ Watt, and he needed a quarterback. He didn't draft Joe Flacco. What is he doing?
Chris, let's calm down and move on to the next
Ubisoft.
publisher. Yeah, Ubisoft.
We expected there to be one surprise at the end. There was. It was Ghost Recon Wildlands. It looked awesome. I was not expecting a new Ghost Recon game.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think, Ghost Recon kind of felt like it was dead in the water after the last one.
Yeah, I kind of liked the last one, though, but everyone else hated it.
I liked it. I thought it was good fun, especially when playing multiplayer.
Yeah. All those games are kind of good fun when playing multiplayer. But like the Future Soldier stuff in it, that then Call of Duty Advanced Warfare came and just stole every single. Was that? No, it was Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yeah, Call of Duty Ghosts came and stole every single element of the previous Ghost Recon game. Like, what if we just take all of these and make them first person and they're different, right? Shh. And it's like, no, that doesn't work. This is quite clearly just you played the last Ghost Recon game. You're like, it's neat how you can do all this stuff.
Yeah,
we should do that too. So, but Wildlands looks really good. It's very different. It's kind of like
it's war on drugs.
It's war on drugs, and it's
is it Madagascar?
Well, no, it seems to be everywhere because it's South America. But then, like at the end of the trailer, they showed like, hey, you go to Europe as well, I think, and stuff like that.
North America.
Oh, okay.
They kind of, because it kind of had. I think it's like you follow the drug trail kind of thing.
Right. Okay.
So it's obviously you start in South America, but then like it's going into Eastern Europe and shit like that. So that looked. It actually, and it's this huge open world thing with loads of different options about how you can approach things, and it's kind of like the drug cartel is just there, and then you can go and attack different bits of it how you want, and then it sounds like it's going to be quite reactive depending on the approach you take to missions.
Yeah, and it's sort of part of the pitch is that you can make them turn on themselves.
Yeah,
so,
which that seems awesome. That's really if that is not just if that's not entirely scripted, if that actually genuinely is based on how you play through missions and stuff, then that's gonna be pretty great.
Well, I think it's just like the end result of what you do. So like they showed Assault, where basically you went in guns blazing.
They showed like the sniper version.
Stealth.
Yeah. Because there was one that was like, so there was a full-on assault one. There was one that was long distance, where the mission seemed to end in like 30 seconds, basically. Because the mission was like, take out the guy in the cowboy hat, and he just sets up a sniper position and shoots the guy in the head. Yeah,
and then proceeded to blow everything else up as well.
Yeah, and then then there was stealth, which looked really awesome and looked very Splinter Cell-y.
Yeah, and then
there's the full assault option, like you said.
Ambush
as well. Ambush was the great. Ambush is the one
destroyed.
where it seems to be if you like in this case, in a way, that was the one that caused them to turn on themselves.
Yeah, because they stole the truck at the end and they left the guy with the white hat alive.
Yeah, which is awesome.
And he came out and the guy said, "I've got the shot." He's like, "No, leave him be." And then
leave him be. He's going to die anyway.
Yeah. And then like white hat guy, he looked so annoyed.
Yep, and then he got fucking tortured by the rest of the cartel.
To death, yeah.
Yep. It looks
all's ends that well. All's well that ends well.
But it just looks really good, right?
Like, it does look
really, really good.
But it's playing along the same themes that a lot of Ubisoft games do. So there's a lot of jaded people about it.
Yeah.
I hope they don't follow the same formula of here's an area. Oh, climb this tower. We'll sink this area to reveal everything around you and blah blah blah. I hope it's just open from the beginning. Like here's where the missions are. Go do what you want.
Yeah, that seemed to be more what they were indicating to me, but we need to actually see how it plays.
Yeah.
But I think this is... It kind of had a feeling that it was slightly different to the other stuff. Just because, for a start, like the syncing thing just wouldn't make sense in this context as much as it does in kind of like their adventure games.
Does it make sense in any of the contexts?
It does in like Assassin's Creed a little bit, I guess. Does it? Oh no! I tell you what, it generally did make sense. It did make sense in Watch Dogs because you were like going actually hacking servers to take over that bit of the city. That actually made sense.
Yeah.
But that's also not really how the internet works.
No, but it is also kind of how some things work. Some bits of the internet do work a little bit like that. You do sometimes need physical access.
Like the internet isn't actually just pipe mania.
No. Anyway, For Honor was their other big surprise. I guess there was actually another surprise beyond this, but For Honor, which is
We're kind of going through the surprises in reverse order, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
fine. Quiet.
Okay.
For Honor looked good.
Okay.
It's like...
Yeah, what was this? 4v4
4v4
combat,
melee,
medieval...
Yeah.
With samurais.
Samurai, ninjas, probably.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I'm not really sure what it is beyond that, but they kind of just showed that and then were like, there you go. So is there any like wrapping to this, or is that just it?
It's basically Ultimate Warrior, the TV show.
Yeah,
the
it is.
TV show, the game. So
But-
what would happen if a Viking fights a samurai warrior?
Yeah.
Find out.
Yeah. There's going to be there's got to be cowboys versus ninjas. No, pirates versus ninjas DLC.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
it,
'Cause
I mean,
that's the eternal.
it
battle.
kind of looked super cool, but we don't really know a lot about it
Mm.
really. So it looked awesome though.
Yeah.
The surprise that kicked the show off, South Park: The Fractured But Whole, which is the most South Park name possible. This is the sequel to The Stick of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Uh,
But now
but-
you're superheroes.
Yeah, no, yes. So it looks like you are. You carry on from the Stick of Truth a little bit at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it just turns into superheroes because they're like, oh shit, sorry, we're playing the wrong game. Okay, we're
Well, yeah,
superheroes
Butters
now.
We're
turns up
superheroes
as
now.
one villain instead of the other, and then,
Yeah.
then they're just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Turns
So
up
you
as
got-
Professor Chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they apologize, like, hold on a second, Butters, we need to go be superheroes.
Yeah.
And that looked, it looked
I
cool.
just love the whole trailer. Like Cartman shouting at everyone, and when Butters goes, "Oh yeah, you should pre-order now." It's like, "Shut up, Butters." It's just the
What
whole-
I really liked was just the way that Matt Stone and Trey Parker did not give a single shit.
They really didn't.
They were like, "Fuck you, Ubisoft! Why have you made us come on stage? Like, if you're gonna make us come on stage, we will just hold you in contempt for the entire time we're here." And they just hated it. It was brilliant.
I think the nice
Oh.
thing was that they, like Aisha Tyler, got out the way the question, like you said that you were never going to do another video game ever again.
Yeah,
And
And they basically said,
a good
well,
answer.
yeah, but now we know how to make a video game, so...
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I thought that was a good, honest answer to that
Yeah.
question. Was like, because they said we were getting towards the end of the Stick of Truth, and we realised how to actually make a video game at that point, and now we kind of wanted to apply the lessons we learned.
They sort of
Yeah.
hated it all the way through until they got to the end and realised
Yeah.
that they'd learned all of these lessons along the way.
Mm.
So it's a nice way of doing things.
Which I kind of imagine as well. If you asked them after the first season of South Park, like, will you ever make another series of South Park? They would have been, no, it's really hard doing animation. But then they learned all the lessons. It's the same thing.
Also, computers came along so that they could do them in about half an hour.
True, much easier. What else was there? Ubisoft acknowledged they fucked up.
Yeah, that was another
which
nice
is
bit.
nice.
Like, it's quite weird how Aisha Tyler is now kind of like the public face of Ubisoft.
Yeah, but she's also. It's kind of interesting that she is both on their side and independent. Like, because she doesn't. Although it is obviously scripted, they don't give her lines that make her just towing the company line the whole time.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
I think that she's got a lot of leeway to go off script a little bit and like express herself. It's sort of like when with the Division, which we'll get to in a minute. She was just like, "Oh yeah, I have played this behind the scenes, and it is amazingly tense." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And like that's not the kind of thing that you'd feel right in having
Oh,
it
no.
scripted.
Mm.
And
No.
it also felt very genuine coming from her as well.
Oh, absolutely. But there's also like there are bits that are clearly she is made to say,
Yeah.
or at least given. I think it's probably more like she's given points to hit. Well,
Yeah.
I bet they probably don't script any of her stuff, and she's probably just given like you need to hit this beat, this beat, this beat, this beat, this beat kind of thing.
There were bits at the very start where she was missing a lot of her lines.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I assume that the auto cue might have been a bit messed up. But then there's the stuff like the
Dreadful
truly awful
banter.
bit. Yeah. She
Oh my
sat down
God.
with the guy that looks like it's his face from Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
And
Yeah.
he just said, "Yeah, they paid me to turn up and sit here."
I
Pretty
was-
much. So,
I was like,
great.
that's not the answer you're meant to give.
Let's come up with a meme.
It just feels like he was late and didn't like get to go through rehearsal or something, you know?
Yeah. Maybe it was the wrong guy. Maybe he just dressed up. He was a cosplayer and just sat there. She just got the wrong guy. The other guy's sitting on the other side of the audience going, she's supposed to be talking to me.
It was just really weird. That's so fucking awkward. And then the bit after, immediately, where there's the Just Dance guy and
Jason Derulo.
No, not that. Like the producer from Just Dance.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
and didn't know that he had lines or something. It seemed like, and then then there's the singing. What was his name?
Jason Derulo.
That was pretty awful. He can't sing
or dance.
Or dance, and his backing dancers can't dance to what they're meant to be dancing to.
Yeah, they were all doing their own thing for like a couple of minutes, and then they realised, oh wait, we've actually got thing to follow.
A routine.
It just felt like they didn't rehearse that bit. It was really bad. That was just awful. What have we? Then we have had what you would expect as the big games. Assassin's Creed Syndicate was there, and
that was just like a video about the game kind of thing. It wasn't really gameplay, I don't think.
Yeah. But it was his sister, right? Eve, is that her name?
Sister, Eve, yeah.
Yeah. She looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I also like that he kind of describing her and like, no, she's the brutal one, I'm the sane one. Like, she's just absolutely psychopathic, and I'm kind of normal and slightly calculating. And I kind of liked that they gave that slight different twist to a female character. Because a lot of the time you'd expect the female character to be a slightly more reserved one. But in this, it's clearly that she is the one who is absolute, because she just straight up like stabs a guy in the back of the neck and stuff like, and even by Assassin's Creed standards, it looked pretty unforgiving. There was also Rainbow Six Siege was there, looked really good. I'm going to get that game.
Yeah, that demo seemed like, that demo was Terror Hunt.
Yeah.
But they've rebranded it as Terror Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I don't know, it felt very similar to the demo from last year, where they actually unveiled the game.
Yes, it did.
Because it's just like breaching a house and going at some terrorists, and all of the same kind of gameplay mechanics are in play.
I'm also kind of fine with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. It's just it kind of felt like, couldn't you have maybe shown a story mission or something? Because
you got an indication there is story to it. Right?
What's her name? Something Barrett.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but they showed like the leader of the Rainbow Organization,
Agent 6.
Yeah. That was pretty neat. And she kind of came on stage and talked about how her character is kind of giving them mission briefings and stuff, and it was kind of made clear that, hey, this isn't just a bunch of combat missions thrown together. There is actually a plot. I was like, cool. I would have also been fine if it was a bunch of combat missions thrown together. But,
and it's sort of it's terrorists. They can strike anywhere in the world. Yada yada.
Yeah, it's kind of like it actually feels like some of the elements are drawn from Anonymous a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but and they're kind of wearing like those. They're not wearing Guy Fawkes masks, but they are wearing kind of like ceramic looking blank face masks and shit like that. But yeah, that looked good. It was a good demo. The Vision demo was also good as well. It showed that it is like, although not like a traditional scale MMO, it is still an MMO because other people showed up in the bit they were doing.
Yep.
And then they teamed up with them, and then at the end they tried to.
They
fucked him over, and then the guy they were playing with fucked them over, right?
I think that's what happened.
Because there was like 3 people, but you only ever heard 2 of them talking to each other, and the other guy was silent the whole time.
And then he ran off or something.
And then right at the end, he basically shoots him in the head and steals all their loot. Something like that happens.
It was okay. So 3 of them were in a fire team, and then the other 2 showed up with loot, and then they got to the end, and it was like, do we want to stab these guys in the back? We've got 60 seconds while this helicopter's here. Do you want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so they did it. One of the 2 that were talking got downed.
Yeah.
So then they couldn't participate in the fight, and then it was just like, oh, can you revive that person quickly? Hello? What are you doing? Bam, dead.
Yeah, because I for a second I assumed it was going to be like a connection error joke or something like that.
Yeah.
Before it happened.
Oh. Right.
But yeah, it was actually just he turned on them. But that was kind of nice, as like everyone's a fucking traitor. It's pretty awesome.
But the thing is that, like, when that, like, you're not actually going to play the game like that because you're going to be playing it with friends.
Yeah.
Like, unless you want to get stabbed in the back, you're going to be playing with friends.
Yeah. And also, no one will ever play the game like any of the people in these demos played it. No one talks as like clearly as the people in these demos talk.
Well, that's just because it was recorded. Like, the Rainbow Six Siege one, that was actually against AI and stuff. And there was genuine, like, genuine feeling, like, panic when things went down.
There was, but also, on the other hand, I have never talked that clearly about a game while playing a game in my life.
No. Like, there are some people that do that, but they're at the very pinnacle of like the gaming world. It's all like,
Although I did come on after that Rainbow Six demo and said, I watched them rehearse when they failed. And you're like, no, you didn't. That's a lie. They clearly succeeded every time. They're not going to give a demo where they fail.
I think the game director came on stage and said, oh, good to see that you managed to do it that time.
Yeah.
Or something.
But they said that, and then Ishii Taylor afterwards as well said, like, I watched them in rehearsal when they failed. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was scripted banter. Like,
maybe.
I don't think they would have a demo that was failable. Like,
that just kind of shows that, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, but also, like, are the marketing team going to say, yes, you can fail in this demo? No, you want to make it look awesome.
But it's a live gameplay demo.
Oh yeah, but you just give everyone infinite health.
Well,
yeah,
bit counter to what Rainbow Six is about, where you can take like 2 bullets before you're down.
Yeah, and to be fair, people do get down to that demo and stuff.
Yeah,
and it did, but it did generally look really good.
Yeah,
and some of the tactics they had, where they were like shooting small holes in the wall to give you like spy holes to be able to see people in other bits of the map. I thought that was really smart, actually.
Lots of don't move, I'm shooting over your head.
Yes, that was great. Yeah, because there's a guy. Yeah, because that's what's brilliant as well. Like the teamwork of the one guy who's got the riot shield, and the guy behind him who is basically peeking around his riot shield.
Mm-hmm. And that was like, if you move to the right, you are literally just going to get a bullet in the ear.
Yeah, it was brilliant though. It was absolutely brilliant as like this is how good you can play this game if you really work with people. You can play it this awesomely, and it did look super awesome.
Yeah,
it did look just really well constructed. What else? Then the other big thing, well, not big, but just we had to put it in here. Trials Fusion Awesome Level Max, where you are a pistol-wielding cat who rides on the back of a fire-breathing unicorn. I don't care what it is.
I don't think you're supposed to.
I don't really care. I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
It looks. They didn't even really show what it is with Trials. They were just like, "Here's this fucking thing." Like, yeah, gimme. That
it's
looks
just
cool.
Insane. Like, did you see in the last week or so there was this riddle in Trials Fusion which has only been solved like now, which is what, a year after release?
All right.
And it's sort of, you do something in the game, you unlock a specific audio file. If you then analyze that audio file, like the waveform of it, it gives you Morse code, like places in the real world. There's tiny little chests which they'd put in several places around the world, each of which has got a key in it. And now there's 3 keys, and on some day in 2115 there will be a meeting underneath the Eiffel Tower with these 3 keys opening a safe or something.
In 2115, in 100 years.
In 100 years' time. So this is the kind of thing where it's just like, okay, now these people who are clearly like really big Trials fans to have got to this point anyway, they have to sort of like set up. It's the kind of Back to the Future thing where like they're going to get there and they're not going to have a clue what's going on because they're not related. They're not involved in this in the slightest. They're just related to people that really love this game.
It's like it's going to be like their grandchildren, right?
Yeah.
Ubisoft pretty much confirmed they're Templars or something, and they're going to.
Yeah, this doesn't even make sense. Oh man, but yeah. Anyway,
meet us here in 100 years, all will be revealed.
This game looked awesome anyway. Yeah. It just looked fucking nuts, so that's why it was cool. I don't know in what way it's a Trials game, but it still seemed awesome.
Do you reckon, right? That's how they'll open E3 if it's still going on in 2115.
Yeah, here's these guys
opening the safe.
Yeah,
maybe
to reveal like Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah. So we missed that beat. We said Watch Dogs 2 was probably going to be the big surprise. It wasn't.
It wasn't.
No, so that's still out there doing something. Right. What's the other thing? Square Enix, that was the last one. This was awful.
Oh my god. The most boring conference I've ever seen. And I don't know how they managed it when they've got Just Cause 3, Hitman, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Final Fantasy, all those big games, and it was so boring. Just wanted to end.
I think that's just, there's a hell of a lot of Japanese developers involved with this, and a lot of them needed translators, is my understanding.
The translator didn't always work either.
Yeah,
there was a bit where the translator wasn't there, so it was all in Japanese. You didn't understand what was being said. This is great.
But I mean, I know from sitting in little behind the scenes press briefings and stuff, like when there's someone that doesn't, when you're having to go between one language and another, that always makes it so much more difficult, and the pacing is always so. Like when you're trying to put together a press conference which keeps people engaged, that is not something which is very conducive to doing that. But I mean, you looking through that, beyond that, you can see all of these games have got so much potential.
Yeah,
and that's the most important thing. Like Just Cause 3 was the obvious one to start the show with. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I saw the first couple of games. Just Cause 3, it is just insane.
I cannot wait.
Like, you just blow things up. You just tether things together and then they blow up.
It's just entirely fan service. This game is, they literally, it's every single bit of feedback from Just Cause 2, and they went, then all of that. Oh, you want infinite tethers? They looked at every mod for the PC version, right?
Apart from the multiplayer mod.
Apart from the multiplayer. But they did reference the multiplayer mod in the thing, but I don't think it's going to be in the game.
No, they've already said it's single player only.
But even so, like, they're like, oh, you want kind of infinite unbreakable tethers? Cool, here you go. Oh, you want infinite C4 and shit? Sorted. You want a wingsuit? Cool. Oh man, just the bit where in the gameplay section where the guy is taking off in a plane with like 4 jeeps tethered to the back of the plane. Yes. It looked amazing. You're just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever you want, it's fine. Okay.
It's just my understanding is that basically you can summon whatever you want into the game, so you can say, right, I need a car now. I don't know if you have to unlock it or something, but basically all of this is just on tap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's
also, can we say here, like, I know Rico is meant to be a CIA operative or whatever, but he seems to spend an awful lot of time overthrowing fascist regimes.
Yes, yeah.
He just spends all his time overthrowing dictatorships on island nations.
Like, this is meant to be in the Mediterranean, but it looks exactly the same as the first 2 games in the Caribbean or something.
Yeah, but not in a bad way. It does look awesome. Also, they've turned the destructibility up a couple of notches, haven't they?
Well, I mean, that's just a console generation difference.
Oh yeah,
really,
but it also just looks it looks properly crazy now. The shit where he's like, oh, I just took out this bridge. Fuck off, bridge. Done. Okay? Alright. Oh, man.
I like how he's gone there to, like, save the people.
Yeah,
it destroys everything.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're driving on the bridge going to work. Die.
No, it's the military. It's the military that is destroying. Like, the people are fine.
I'm pretty... Yeah, they just get scratches. That's it. They might fall into the river in their cars. It's fine.
That's it.
They won't die.
Although I actually think one of my favourite bits in it where it showed like a big satellite dish, but only like a quarter of the satellite dish was blown off. Because if your mission is blow up that satellite dish and you manage to blow a quarter off and then you die, you're going to be pissed off. You'll be like, oh, I'm going to take out the whole thing. Stupid fucking C4. Ugh. Yeah. I also hope, there you've got infinite C4, I wonder like what the limit on the number you can chain together is. Like how many can you explode at once? Because that's probably not going to...
the first thing you're going to try.
Yeah, surely that's not going to be like a super high limit. They're not going to let you explode more than like maybe 10 at a time, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just going to, like, the physics engine's going to die if you try and explode too many at a time. Or if you explode like 2 on different sides of the island or something like that, you know?
I'd love to see a domino effect. So you put them across the island.
Yeah, that was
just start a chain.
They did kind of show that with one of the fuel tank bits. There was like a domino chain where he blows up the first one in such a way that it falls onto the second one.
Yeah,
that was pretty awesome. I don't. Do we need to talk about anything else from Square Enix? Just Cause 3 was awesome. As I said in Slack, why would you want to buy other games if you own Just Cause 3? It has all the best bits of all games done. I am happy.
Go on. You might as well talk about the other games.
When did they announce when it's out?
December 1st.
Yes, I'm pre-ordering that.
And Hitman is also out this year.
Yes, Hitman, which they announced, that's out December 8th.
Yes, so it's a week later.
And
they're doing the Ubisoft thing.
And it's a digital first, yep. And it looks fine. Like, it looks like Hitman. It kind of, to be fair, it's more expansive, it seems, than previous Hitman games have been, right?
They were saying they were like, they'll add contracts, but some will only appear once ever, only for a limited time.
Yeah, they were saying like there'll be a lot of contracts that appear for, I think the timing, which might not be accurate, but they said like 48 hours.
Yeah.
But it wasn't clear if that's an example or no, they're 48-hour contracts. Which I think 48 hours is quite reasonable though, to be like, hey, you've got 2 days kind of thing. And they said as well, like new missions and new levels will appear over time. So it's not just going to be like the guy you have to kill, like he might be in a new location that you haven't been to before. But it also didn't sound like it was DLC. The phrasing didn't sound like it was DLC, right? It just sounded like it was part of the game.
It just sounds like they're going to add missions.
Yeah, and also you can collaborate with friends, and there's a lot of stuff that they covered and didn't really pause to explain. So maybe hopefully we'll get some previews from, none of us are at E3, but I hope we'll get some previews from some outlets kind of explaining what the fuck is going on, because there was a lot of stuff they were super vague about. And also it's kind of the classic, it looks a lot more like classic Hitman than Hitman Absolution did. And also there's a lot of flexibility in it, which looks super cool. There's a great bit in the demo. The demo is not gameplay, but it's a trailer, I guess, for it. But it was kind of like, it was all CGI, but it was also kind of shown as if it were gameplay type thing. There's a bit where Agent 47 goes in with an axe and kills a guy, and then the next frame is a different way of doing it, where he poisons the guy's drink, which is obviously classic kind of Hitman decision of which way do you want to go. But it just looked awesome. It looked really good. They've obviously, the sandboxes are bigger and more complex than they've ever been before because it's on a new generation of hardware. They said some stuff like you can prepare your mission sites, which I didn't even. Yeah. Again, they just kind of said that and then moved on to the next thing. They're like, what does that mean? Can I come here? Like, do I get the option to come to this place 2 days before I go and do the mission and put a sniper rifle in the bin or something? What? So yeah, they were very vague, but it all sounds really, really cool. What else was there? Deus Ex. What's that Deus Ex game called? I've forgotten.
Mankind Divided.
They showed a bit of that, right? Was that?
And the story's gone a bit weird, hasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
The Illuminati's involved somehow. So basically, Jensen's become a conspiracy nut.
Yeah.
He's in Interpol, he's on a task force, but
who he thinks are being controlled by the Illuminati.
Yeah.
So he's a double agent, in a way, trying to work out what's going on. It's like...
Oh, God knows. That game
Why?
Oh, man. Because the original trailer they showed for it looked really interesting.
Yeah.
And all about, like, the kind of sociological effects
They
of
should
what
literally
happens.
just kept it like that. Just for that, because that would be so much more interesting.
And that doesn't appear to be what the final game is going to be.
No, it's the Illuminati, basically.
Yep. But they didn't show gameplay, right? It was just CGI.
They showed some gameplay.
Okay, I missed that.
It was pretty much all just the shooty bits.
Oh, okay, that's boring. Tomb Raider. Well, I missed this because I was writing something up. What did they show of Tomb Raider?
Did they show anything new of Tomb Raider?
I'm sure Tomb Raider was there, right?
It was there, but I don't think they showed anything
we hadn't seen in Was it just the Microsoft trailer? They did this for like a couple of games where they just showed trailers. It was the Microsoft trailer. I remember now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, they did this for a couple of things where they just showed trailers we'd seen before.
Yeah.
Which shows a bit kind of, oh, okay. You realize we've seen this, right? Like, why are you showing us the Final Fantasy VII trailer again? It indicates you have something new to show when you don't. That's just being a dick. Kingdom Hearts was there. That
looked really nice.
Yeah, 2 Kingdom Hearts games. There's Kingdom Hearts that is on like mobile or something.
Yeah, mobile Kingdom Hearts. And then actual Kingdom Hearts.
Actual Kingdom Hearts. Actually, even as someone who has no real interest in Kingdom Hearts, it did look really good.
Yeah.
It looked really graphically. It was nice. The pacing to the combat seemed really good. The story seemed interesting and also super Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
Like it did. The story was looked like it had been lifted out of an anime. Where they talk about like the
blade key.
the
Keyblade War.
Keyblade War from like eons ago or something ludicrous.
And the Masters. Who apparently started it.
Yeah, fuck knows. That looked and then I don't know what you're talking about. Well, clearly you do. While they were playing weird chess.
Dun dun dun.
I want to play the weird chess game that was in it though. If that's part of Kingdom Hearts, I'll buy it.
It's not as good as what's it from The Witcher 3 though,
from
is it?
Witcher 3.
Yeah, but if they let me play,
nothing is.
If there's a weird chess minigame in there, I'm gonna play that. What else? Nier was there? Anyone know anything about this? Because I don't really know that series.
They basically just announced it and said Platinum Games are working on it, and they've got all of the most experienced possible Japanese developers you could possibly name to work on it. Also, there's basically a list of like 20 developers, and it is like this person worked on Persona 4, and also this and that, and Kingdom Hearts, and Blue, and this other guy works on everything.
Did we find out who the guy in the mask was?
Yeah, no, he was named. He was I can't remember his name though.
Because I was just 50.
What was the deal with the mask?
I was just
couldn't hear what he was saying.
But I was like 50% sure it's just gonna be Kojima. That's exactly the kind of shit he has pulled in the past.
Yeah.
And he ain't doing anything with Konami anymore.
Yeah. Basically, the only thing they said about it was that it's too early to really talk about it and give it a subtitle, but it's for PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And Platinum Games, so it's a pretty big deal.
Then the other point to mention is obviously there was no Final Fantasy 15 at all.
There wasn't.
All the stuff from Final Fantasy that was there was shit we'd seen before, and then there was no Final Fantasy 15. So
it would have been nice to get a bit of an update on it.
Given that no one else, given that the stuff they did show us about Final Fantasy was the 2 Final Fantasy games that were at Sony were both there. The Final Fantasy Chibi game was there, and then the Final Fantasy 7 remake was there, but they were the trailers we'd seen previously. So why?
So they weren't a surprise.
And then there was also a bit of Final Fantasy 14, but that was for an update that is basically out. Yeah.
It basically this whole conference felt like they were struggling to fill the time.
Yeah, it really did.
It's like
it felt like they arranged to have a conference and then realized they didn't have enough shit to show.
It's like, shit, have we got games? Oh, everyone else is showing them. Fuck.
Like, Tomb Raider is out soon. They could, not soon, but it's out in like 6 months. They could have had another vertical slice of gameplay to show.
I think, that's what they needed to do. I think, like, Bethesda showed how far you can stretch, like, how many games was that, 5?
Yeah.
They stretched that over, like, hour and 15 minutes. And like a big chunk of that was devoted to Fallout 4, just the one game.
Yeah,
and it was also interesting as well.
Yeah, and if they'd done the same thing with like Tomb Raider, basically, because that's the most imminent one, really. And they could have really gone in depth and talked about what's new, gone beyond what they showed as a little teaser at the Microsoft show. And then maybe spent 2/3 of that amount of time on Deus Ex and Hitman.
Yeah, exactly. Like
show what
the
they're
thing as
about.
well with like Tomb Raider and Hitman and Deus Ex. Those are all games where you can show like a level. Basically, I know Tomb Raider is now open world, but you can still show kind of a level chunk of it. Particularly, if they said in Tomb Raider, "Hey, there's going to be tombs." Cool. You could have just shown us one of the fucking tombs. You could have just been like, "There's tombs. Here's a tomb." But instead, they just went, nah, meh. and it was
Ice,
really boring.
storm, get back to the shelter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Square Enix was a total bust.
It was.
It was awful. Also, there's a PC gaming show stuff happened there, didn't there?
Yeah, PC Gamer Show was interesting. I didn't watch all of it, but it was like No Man's Sky was confirmed to be same day as the PS4 version.
Yeah, on PC.
They showed a bit
Gears
of Total
Ultimate.
Warhammer.
Gears Ultimate's coming to it as well.
Yeah, that's coming to PC.
Wait, did you say Total Warhammer? Because that's not that
Yeah.
game's name. I know we all know it should be that game's name, but it's not.
Yeah. What was the other thing? Oh, Killer Instinct is going to be on PC. And like Phil Spencer came on and he was just like talking about how, like, even though he's head of Xbox, like having games on PC is important, and like Windows 10 connectivity, like it's important for them to give that framework to developers. So if they want to have a cross-platform multiplayer game, they can.
Yeah.
And that's not really been open to them before now. Even with this stupid Games for Windows Live nonsense that they had in like 2007, which was horrific and didn't do anything that you'd expect. Like Microsoft, who owns and controls two huge platforms with video game potential, it didn't do anything that you'd expect it to do in order to combine the two. And that was terribly stupid of them. But Spencer's got... Phil Spencer seems to be a pretty good egg with very level head on his shoulders and further cliches that show that he knows what he's doing.
Anything else? I think that is all of E3 now. All of E3 is covered. There is no more E3 except for the whole of the actual E3 show.
Yeah, none of this is
not
actually E3. Like, everybody always thinks of E3 and they go, oh, the press conferences. But no, they're sort of like the opening...
They're
kind of the opening
at the
statement.
convention centre. In fact, most of them take place miles away from the convention centre.
It's
it's not like they're one street over. They're like 10 minutes on a bus, 15 minutes on a bus away from the convention centre. Yeah, it's weird. They are genuinely nowhere near.
No, they're just basically a public-facing statement of intent.
Yeah.
And then the actual show is, we've shown you all these games. You're excited now. Whether you're press or your industry interested in something or other, whatever, building relationships or something like that. Now you can go hands-on with them and see what they're about.
Yeah, actually go play the games.
Yeah, it's all like Adam Boyes and his entire Gio Corsi and his entire troupe of staff will be like roaming like the indie section or however big that is at E3. I'm not entirely sure. But they'll be looking for games that they can potentially sign up and talking to developers and stuff like that.
I imagine Adam Boyes works, but he finds an indie game and then just like picks up their kit and moves it to the Sony stall.
He's big enough to just do that.
It's just like,
you're coming with me now.
Here's a contract, sign it, and we'll get this on the Sony stall, right? I don't care, it's not running on our fucking hardware. Come with us. We'll put it in a PS4 box. It'll be fine.
I don't think he gets them to sign a contract. I think he just stands near them and then just puts a little sticker on their stand. He like claims ownership.
I think he just picks up the developer and carries them over.
Yeah, just Santa Monica is nearby. Just takes them and relocates them to Santa Monica Studio.
You work here now.
That's definitely how that works. All right, this has been all of E3. Yeah, we're done. There's no more podcasts. There probably won't be a main one on Monday because I kind of don't want to record podcasts anymore.
Let's take a week off, Kris.
Yeah,
you'll be alright.
I'm really tired.
You've earned it.
I've talked so much about E3. If you want to get in touch with us, you can get the podcast on Twitter at TSA Podcast. You can get it on YouTube. Most of the stuff from E3 is not up yet because it takes me a while to get it sorted, but it will be. I keep trying to encode it for YouTube, and then I'm like, I need to record another podcast. Can't do them at the same time. So that will be up soon. If you want to get in touch with me, you can get me on Twitter as HalPro. It's HALB Pro. You can get Teflon as Teflon. You can get Aran as Aran Suddy. That's Suddy with 2 Ds and an I. And then go to thesickfactors.com. There's lots of stuff about E3 there. I wrote like some things. I think I came in like sixth place.
You were just behind Blair.
Yeah, I was 4th place behind Blair. I would have beaten Blair if I wasn't editing a podcast during Ubisoft, and if I wasn't getting a podcast to encode for YouTube during Sony. I would have beaten him.
I just want to say I was first.
You were first with like 34 news posts. What the fuck? Are you a human being?
I'm not sure.
It's just, that was crazy. To be fair, you did all of the conferences, I think, right?
Except the PC one, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, time to say goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
The Sixth Axis Podcast.